So, welcome back. The last topic of the chapter 1, computer system, types of computers. How many types of computers are there and which are functional till date? So, we can divide the computers in two categories, and they are purpose wise and operation wise. Purpose wise, we can divide the computers in two categories, and they are special purpose computers and general purpose computers. Operation wise, computers can be further divided into analog computers, digital computers and hybrid computers. Operation wise, computers can be divided into three parts: analog computers, digital computers and hybrid computers. Digital computers further can be divided into these five parts: embedded computers, micro or personal computers, mini computers, mainframe computers and supercomputers. So let's start from the beginning. Purpose wise computers, it is divided into two parts, and that is special purpose and general purpose. Special purpose computers which are meant for a single work, or the computers which are capable in doing only one kind of work. Those types of computers, they are called special purpose computers. They are not versatile to do any other kind of work. Second is general purpose computers. General purpose computers are able to do several kind of works. General purpose computers, they are able to do several types of work, countless work, and they are versatile. They are capable to do several types of work. For example, special purpose, a supercomputer, it is a kind of special purpose computer which is meant for weather forecasting, for atomic analysis, for geological processes, for meteorological processes. If we want that supercomputer, we want to play a game on a supercomputer, it is not possible that we are able to play the game on a special purpose computer. Example is supercomputer. Special purpose computers, they are meant for a special work, for a single task. They are not versatile to do several kinds of work. Whereas general purpose computer, in example, we can take a PC, a micro or a personal computer, on which we can do the work related to accounts. For example, we can use Tally software on that. If we want that spreadsheet program should also run on that, it will run. It will work. We want that a presentation program should work on that, it will work. If we want a word processor should work on a general purpose computer, it will work. So it is versatile. Second thing is operation wise. Computers are divided into three parts, and they are analog, digital and hybrid computers. Analog computers which are taking or which are working on a continuous physical quantity, continuous physical quantities such as voltage, temperature, or temperature. These type of computers, they are called analog computers. Second are the digital computers, where discontinuous data is taken by the computer. And that is converted into the binary form. That is converted into the binary form. Binary form, it means the data which is given as an input, it is converted into the language of 0 and 1. It is converted into language of 0 and 1. Then after, it is processed and the user obtains the output after the processing. Third are the hybrid computers. Hybrid computers, those computers which are made up of both analog and digital computers. Those computers, they are called hybrid computers. Hybrid computers, they gives the output in a digital as well as in an analog form. In digital and as well as in analog form. Hybrid computers, a very simple example of a hybrid computers are the machines in the hospital. For example, ECG machine, electrocardiogram machine, ventilators. They are also the example of hybrid computers. As they are also taking the physical quantities as well as they are converting those physical quantities in the binary form. That's why they are termed as hybrid computers. Now, digital computers, they are divided into 5 categories, and they are, first one is embedded computer, second one is micro or personal computer, third is mini computers or also termed as mid-range servers. Then are the mainframe computers, and then after supercomputers. Supercomputers. So, first of all, we will talk about embedded computers. Embedded computers which are embedded or pre-installed and they are having a limited function. For example, automatic washing machine. 32-bit computer in motor cars. Digital meters in refrigerators. Digital wristwatch. It is the example of embedded computer. Second, micro or personal computer. Personal computer, we all are aware or we all are familiar with microcomputers or personal computers which we are using in the shops, in the banks, in the lab for technical and educational purposes. These computers which we are using at our home also categorized as micro or personal computers. These computers, they are versatile. Means we can do several works on them. We can play games, we can listen to music, we can watch movies, we can use a word processor program, we can use a spreadsheet program, we can use a presentation program, we can use account software and several other things. We are having a calculator in that. So it is versatile. It is having several things. And micro or personal computers, they are termed as general purpose computers. Micro or personal computers, they are further categorized as mobile or handheld computers, portable PCs, desktop PCs and workstations. These all things, they are having a very slight difference in them. And that difference can be of shape, size or of memory and of processor. Some are having a low quality processor, some are having a heavy quality processor, some are having a low storage memory and some are having a high storage memory. Some are big in size and some are small in size. Third one are the mini computers. Third one are the mini computers. Mini computers, they are more powerful than the micro or personal computer. They are more powerful than the micro or personal computers in terms of memory and processing. In terms of memory and processing, mini computers. That's why they are also termed as mid-range servers. Mid-range servers. Mid-range servers. Let me tell you that what is a server. Server, a computer which can handle the data of several computers which are arranged in a networking. So, when the network is made, the data of that network, the nodes or the workstations of that network, they are attached with a mini computer which governs the entire network. So, mini computers, they are having a high processing speed as well as high storage capacity. That's why these mini computers, they are termed as mid-range servers or mid-range computers. Fourth one is mainframe computers. Mainframe computers are very powerful computer in terms of processing and storage. And these computers are meant for a specific work. And these computers, they are used for a specific work. For example, weather forecasting, geological processes, to store a large amount of data, to process the data in a very fast manner. We are using mainframe computers. Simply we can understand that the Google servers, which are meant to store the data. Most of the Google servers, they are using mainframe computers as Google servers, for using Google servers. Next is supercomputers, most powerful, having multiple processors, multiple storage devices, multiple and sophisticated operating systems. Those are termed as supercomputers. They process thousands of processes within fraction of seconds, and they are also responsible to store that thousands of processes in the computer, and the areas which are using supercomputers, or the fields which are using supercomputers, and that are weather forecasting, nuclear science research, medical research, aerodynamic modeling, seismology, meteorology, etc. So, I hope that you understood the chapter, and if any query is there, you are free to ask anytime. Next thing I want to tell you, and that is on the page number 15 of your book, some objective type questions which is under the heading of assisted practice. And on page number 16, section B is there. They are theoretical questions. On 15, 16 and 17. 15, 16 and 17, page number 15, 16 and 17. Some exercises are there. So, you have to do them in your notebook. Now, Page number 19 of your book, there are some theoretical questions. Theoretical questions, you have to do them. You have to do them in your notebook. Do them in your notebook, and you are only able to do these things if you will read the chapter thoroughly. You will read the chapter thoroughly and will try to understand. Will try to understand it. Chapter 2, I will be back on Friday. On Friday, I will be back with chapter 2. Till then, goodbye.